You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what ought to be a great matchup between the Oakland Raiders and the Indianapolis Colts. With that, let's get on up to Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. For the call, we bring in our broadcasters, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Oakland Raiders and the Indianapolis Colts. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And Charles, we take a look at the Colts entering play. They come in losers of 2 straight, so they're trying to right the ship here a little bit.
They're teetering a little bit, aren't they? And now things could really go south if they lose this game, so they understand the importance of playing well and stopping this streak.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Raiders, they've got to be pleased with the start to this season. Obviously, a perfect 3-0.
3 good quality wins, too. It's got people in the locker room excited. They're thinking that this could be their year.
Badgley now to kick this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So the Colts now coming out for their opening drive. They are led out by the 15th overall selection in 2019. Former Ohio State Buckeye Dwayne Haskins.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
1 touchdown, 1 pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe leans on a few other parts of the offense and hopefully springs a receiver or 2 free.
They'll go with their leading rusher from a season ago. This is Aaron Jones. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Little trouble thus far on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 11. 3rd down. Here's Haskins. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver Moore. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
That's what I'm talking about. Not hit, boy.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Here's the 2nd year back out of NC State, Nyheim Hines. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. The drive starting with a 1st down, 11 yards on that pickup.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Here's Hines. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. 11 yards there, just like last play.
That's a very nice game there. Confidence-building run. Love the execution up front. And the way he pressed the hole, absolutely perfect.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Murray now on first down. Throw left side complete. That's James. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
4 yards the pickup, first down. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation? We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
That one will go as a gain of 11. Raiders having a first down as well. Boston Scott, his first carry. Sean Lee, the Pro Bowler, there for the tackle. And we look at this offense now, and Zach Martin will be important for this team today.
He's so good, Brandon, that you can play him at any position in the offensive line, and I think he's a Pro Bowl player at each spot.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Now Murray, he bootlegs it. He's going to take a shot for the end zone. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. Coming into this one, ranked number 19 in the NFL against the pass.
And when you're getting ready to face the number 1 overall offense in the NFL, it does not matter where you rank defensively because you got your hands full. You don't know what you're going to face, but you know that that's a strong unit that you're getting ready for.
Now play number 7 of this drive, but it's a tough 3rd and 9. Throwing is Murray on 3rd down. And that will be incomplete.
As my dad used to tell me all the time, when you're getting ready to play a big-time game, especially when you have one going into a dome setting, you better strap it up tight because that crowd can really affect things.
Especially on 3rd downs like the one we just saw there with the incompletion. Able to move the ball on that drive. Yes, just 3 points, but 4 first downs were in there.
Yeah, and you can look at it and feel pretty good about the whole thing and think, okay, this should continue throughout this ball game. On the flip side, if you're a defender, it's almost like, whew, we only gave up 3. They moved the ball on us pretty well.
Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion. Guys a little bit jumpy.
You do.
Oh, you understand the same way. Just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went 3
and
and
now they have that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3 and out. I went 3 and out on that first drive. I'll try to do better here. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him? Either fellow receivers or offensive linemen. That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. 7 yards the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. Now the young man was a Pro Bowler as an undrafted rookie. It's Phillip Lindsay. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And they're going to have a third down. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
Too long for a field goal, too short to punt. That in-between range, and they'll go for it on 4th down. They're going on 4th down. Haskins. And my goodness, this is incomplete. The linebacker, Bobby Wagner, able to get back in coverage and knock it free. Even though they didn't get it, probably the right call. Too long for a field goal and just not a whole lot to gain from a punt there.
Yeah, you wouldn't have really netted very much yardage if you pumped the ball, right? And the thing about a field goal, and you know this from so much experience, the longer the field goal, the lower it comes out off the kick, right? Which means it's got a better chance of being blocked. So you're taking a chance.
Got a man, it's caught at the 6-yard line. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Julio Jones. His 9th touchdown of the season. And the Raiders are able to strike quickly for 6. And there, Charles, he lined up out left, ran the post, caught it over the middle, and the rest, as they say, is history.
And you have to love the scheme that they just showed there, because if you're going to run a deep post, you ordinarily have to get a safety out of the middle of the field. And you do it one of 2 ways, either by running routes at him that carries him away from it, or you either freeze him in the middle with routes that run underneath so that he doesn't get depth. Then you throw it over the top, and boy, what a successful play that was.
And they're able to get the connection on the long touchdown pass. And that's one of the easiest drive summaries you'll ever see. 1 play, touchdown. And that one carries out of the side of the end zone for a touchback, so that will come out now to the 25-yard line. And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term
blitz coming, and down he goes.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away, because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. On 2nd down, a run with Lindsay. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down. Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws, some misdirection. You want to run any type of a play that will influence these guys to continue to get upfield and find a way to use that against them and slip things in behind them. So some quick passes could work as well.
A 1st down and then some. 36 yards. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. On 1st down, it's Haskins. And finding the tight end, Hooper. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. 2nd quarter now from Indianapolis with the homestanding Colts in possession as they've got it 2nd and 7. 2nd quarter now from Indianapolis with the homestanding Colts in possession. Throwing again on 2nd down. Haskins hit, and he lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And now Oakland ready to take the field. And last time the formula was pretty simple. One play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, one play drive is exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was real easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
Yeah, we'll see if it's that easy here.
It's just me and you.
On 2nd and 9, Murray. He's going to float this over the middle, deep. And that one almost intercepted. Call it a 50-50 ball. It falls incomplete, and now third down.
But one thing's for sure, when you get a big receiver and you trust him downfield, you're going to give him opportunities to go up and get that 50-50 ball.
And he is a darn good big receiver. Unfortunately, that time didn't work out. Nice job defensively. After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. And Jones has it over the middle. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down. He had his eyes on 200 yards last week, earned him AFC Offensive Player of the Week. And he was really, really good. Fun to watch back in tape with you.
It was fun to watch, wasn't it? He's trying to have the same type of a game in this one. But what was fun watching was how he read the defense. No matter what they presented, he had an answer for it, and that's why he was open during that game.
Here we go. Jump.
The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. So in their own territory, but they only need a few inches, so they're going to opt to go for this thing. We'll see. Maybe a surprise pass or run. What will they do? We're about to find out. 4th down. Now, meanwhile, they go for it on 4th down, and my goodness, incomplete. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Colts are going to get the football in outstanding field position. So they take a big chance here in their own territory, and you think the coach may have some questions to answer?
Yeah, and, normally we focus on the media, right, the social media barrage that he's going to get for this one. How about on his own sideline and in his locker room? Because I think the team's going to look at him like, Coach, why would we go for it there? I mean, no confidence in the defense. You don't like the punter. I mean, what's going on here? You owe us some explanations.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Now it's Haskins. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. So he got free of 1 tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
And this one is right down the middle. And they get themselves on the board here. It's 10-3. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent, that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes. But right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the second quarter. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Murray looks to throw again, 2nd and 10. The left side completion to Jones. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be 3rd down. Now the old pass completion for no gain, not something you want to call up out of the playbook too often.
Yeah, most offensive coordinators don't have that on their play sheet, so they've got to go back and scramble after this one. But right now, with what they're telling receivers about making sure you take care of the ball in open field, sometimes the fighting for extra yardage doesn't come as a result. That and good tackling can lead to no yards gained. Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
I used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Murray. And he comes back with one complete. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. It's a pickup of 17 and a 1st down.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
Here's Murray as he sets to throw it. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down.
Tremendous field position there and a perfect time to do exactly what they did. Take a shot at the end zone. And they went for the big play, just unable to complete it.
Back to the air on 2nd down. It's Murray. Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Sean Lee. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
Now a throw over the middle, and he's got it to start the drive. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And the Raiders pick it up. And they will set up shop at their own 46-yard line.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
A throw left side to start the drive is complete.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
This is Hines. There he goes left side. And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. Nyheim Hines, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Raiders add 6 to their lead.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strike ability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And a long run there in the end to top it off. This is taken at the 3. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Phillip Lindsay and the rest of the offense heading back out. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement. Down on the scoreboard, maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? Able to get 7 on that first down pass play, 2nd and 3. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
That one, a first down pickup of 8. First down now, but the clock continues to move.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
16 yards the pickup there. The Colts have a first down. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Haskins will throw. And he lost the football. And the Raiders pick it up.
Whenever I see a team turn it over on back-to-back drives, fumbles on their last 2, I know one person's blood pressure who is starting to rise, and that's the head coach.
Absolutely. And when's it going to go down? When they stop fumbling?
When they stop fumbling and after he's assessed the game film, and only if they manage to win the game.
And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
And the big guy catches the ball out of the backfield, and oftentimes it's quite a surprise to the guys playing defense because not ordinarily thought as a pass catcher, it often works when they decide to dial it up.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete. The turnover put them in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up.
No, not at all, and you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
To throw on 3rd down, Murray. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And I don't think he got there, no. He's short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job here of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. Final 12 seconds of the half now as they've got it 1st and 10. Haskins looking to throw on 1st down. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's 2nd and 11. Now Haskins to throw on 2nd down. It's caught over the middle. Hooper. And he finally goes down, but not before reaching the 21. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you guys in a bit. But first, time for a trip around the league on this final weekend of September. We'll start with a rematch of one of the more compelling playoff games of all time, the Kellen Winslow game. This time, it's the Los Angeles Chargers heading down to take on Miami. And they are just about ready to head to halftime with the Dolphins on top. Carson Wentz with a touchdown pass there. From there, we head a little further north up to Atlanta to check on the Falcons at home at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And you can see they have the lead over the visiting Tennessee Titans. Torrey Smith, a touchdown reception. Lastly, let's motor up to the Motor City. See what's happening with the Lions at home at Ford Field. In that matchup, all even in their battle with the Kansas City Chiefs. In our game, it was a rookie Kyler Murray showing the flash that made him choose football over baseball. His guys have a 2-touchdown lead as we hand it back over to Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Raiders with the lead already, and they will get the football here as the second half is now underway. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Out comes the Raiders offense. They'll go on offense first to start quarter number 3. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? I mean, they score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their play.
Oh, he tried to pitch it, and the ball's loose. And the Colts pick it up. Zay Jones was the intended receiver.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, it's going to be hot routes. If they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback, they've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
Second down and goal. Haskins caught by Cobb. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. They get only a yard there. Now it's third and goal.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Meanwhile, on third down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Let's give this defense some credit now. They let the guys get downfield, but when push came to shove, they stood their ground. Now they'll likely force a field goal attempt.
So a good drive there to begin quarter number 3, but they're only able to shave 3 points off the lead.
Well, something's better than nothing, all right? They didn't play particularly well in the first half, but they definitely need him to step on the accelerator now and play a whole lot better.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because he didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach would be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punch in the end zone without turning it over.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now it's Hines, and an alley to run. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. That one will go as a gain of 11. Raiders having a first down as well.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. They run with Hines. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Lorenzo Alexander brings him down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
And now Murray's going to set up to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
And now offensively it's 3rd and 10, and I'm just thinking to myself, actors always say, what's my motivation before a big scene? Right now the play caller's thinking, What have I done before that's worked well that I can go to right now?
Yeah, because they were pretty successful in the first half scoring points. Haven't done anything so far here in the second half. On third down, Murray. Well, the two men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up fourth down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that. Super toe.
On second and 11 now. Haskins. Now Jones is hit. He lost the football.
That's it, baby.
Wow. That ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get them home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. And he's going to go down. He backed up into the end zone, and this is going to wind up a safety. And you know, the man who sat in my chair the last few years, he has a theory. These plays, these safeties, they're so rare. Maybe they should be worth more than 2, maybe 4 points.
I think he's got a great point. I really do, Brandon. But I would go ahead and up it to 6. I'm a former defender.
Oh.
To me, that's like scoring a touchdown.
Easy now. I'll go 4. I don't know about 6.
Come on. Come up to 6.
A lot of points. And remember, following the safety, you give the football up as well, and they free kick it from the 20 now.
Get ready, get ready, get ready.
And now Oakland ready to take the field. They had that first half lead, but they have been shut down here in this third quarter, so time to retool a bit.
And probably need to tap into that emotional vein that gets them back to really playing hard and effectively. Because a lot of times we think it's just play calls and this isn't working and they're shutting them down. Sometimes when you get a lead, you lose your edge. You don't play quite as hard. That's what they're looking for here.
Trying to get that edge back as they've watched this lead shrink a little. From the 35 on second down, Murray throwing the out route and complete. It's Jones. 16 yards, a first down. And he's over 100 yards now after that last catch. Already, of course, leading the NFL in receiving yardage.
So he's done nothing at all to hurt his cause to stay in that spot. But I've been so impressed with how he's gotten it done. Body control, route running. How about the way he competes for the football at the end of the play? Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They'll run with Walton, and he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down.
Third quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Here's Walton. And a solid run down inside the 30. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
From the 29, Murray got his man complete over the middle. It's James. 12 yards there and a first down.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
50 seconds to mine. Danny.
On first down, Hines. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's 2nd and 13. Caught outright by Renfro. And a good gain here of 9 from the 19 down to the 10. They'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for 3rd down.
And a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry, the ball gets tipped in the air. Because if that happens, then it's fair game for the defense.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. So they put together a good little drive there, but ultimately stalling out in the red zone.
Yeah, I know a lot of people look at it as a little bit of a negative. They didn't get 6 points out of it, right? Didn't get the touchdown. But that's actually okay. They got 3 points, able to give their defense a little bit of rest, let them settle down over there. So all in all, to me, that's a good drive.
And now Indianapolis set to take the field. And last time they surrendered the safety, we know they don't want to do that again.
That is just one of those oddities in scoring that we get, and it's just so strange to see that go up on the board, and then you got to make sure that that doesn't...
Now the ball comes loose, and the Raiders pick it up. Room here to run. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. We know this defense has some playmakers. We saw it right there. Well, really, we've seen it the whole game.
Isn't it nice to see that on the opposite side of the ball? Respect, my man, respect. The defensive guys are outscoring their opposing offense.
Yeah, they're outscoring him indeed with that score alone. Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Here we go. Here we go.
Well, look now at the Oakland defense as they get ready. And they had the fumble return for a touchdown, and boom, they're right back out there again.
And you hear so many people talk about opportunistic defenses in today's football. Well, they make their own breaks because they work at it all the time. We've been in the practices, the drills where they're trying to strip the football, the takeaways. They're always working on it, and it paid off for them on the last possession.
Paid off. Now can they do it again? Off the play fake. Here's Haskins. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Trey Flowers, the former Arkansas Razorback, in there to get him.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. Now a quick slant as the throw's complete. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Another good reception there. The Colts on the march.
All right, let's just go ahead and walk through this one pretty easily, right? Blast off the line of scrimmage, get downfield to a certain point, usually around 8 to 10 yards, turn around and make sure the quarterback sees your numbers and set yourself up for the pass.
A well-executed. And down he goes. Brought down a Raiders sack. Bobby Wagner, the former second-rounder out of Utah State with a sack. And you hate to say it with a rookie quarterback. He's done some good things, but overall, looked a little bit overwhelmed back there, hasn't he?
He certainly has. But in his defense, he hasn't had a lot of time to throw the football. You like the way I said that? In his defense.
In his defense, I got it.
You see what I did there?
Yeah, he needs better protection, that's for sure. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. It's a pickup of 17 and a 1st down.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
A gain of 8 there on the 8th play of the drive.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass, looked like it was coming together, looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Here's Haskins to throw. He'll get this to Phillip Lindsay, complete. A good pickup there, 21 yards. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him the football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make someone miss in the open field.
Now keep in mind, if you're thinking of staying on the ground, this is a top 5 rush defense.
Yeah, but I don't think you shy away totally with the run. At least show them the hint of a run before you decide to throw the football.
That's complete, right around the 8. And here he'll get it down to the 7. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. The Colts on 3rd down. They've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This is 3rd and 4. From the gun, Haskins on 3rd down. Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. He's at the 50. And he'll get this back across the midfield stripe and down to the 47-yard line. That's now his 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event.
Now a loose football. The ball comes out, and the Colts pick it up. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line. Not the trend he wanted to start the season with a fumble lost in both weeks 1 and 2. Now, it's not a disaster, but certainly not what he was looking for.
Got to get that fixed because otherwise he shows up on every scouting report. I remember sitting in defensive rooms and hearing the scouting report from my coaches, and if someone had a particular problem carrying the ball and holding on to it, that was noted. Hey, make sure you get a little extra attention to him. Get after the football. He's dropped it the last couple of games.
Another try after the first down sack. Haskins, he's got the tight end, Vanette. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle him after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
Now it's Haskins. And this is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Raiders with the football now in excellent field position. Well, being just short of midfield, they decide to take a crack at it on 4th down. They don't come through.
Sometimes it's just showing confidence in your defense. You know that they're good, and they'll take care of you. A lot of coaches during the week will announce to their team, we're going to be aggressive, guys.
This is caught inside the 15. Oh, and the big play's going to get even bigger as penalty flags are down, and I believe they're going to get a face mask penalty tacked on. They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration. Not a good play.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Out of the gun, here's Murray. And that's going to be caught for a Raider touchdown. Julio Jones, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the silver and black continue to roll. Starting to really smell a 4-0 start right now. Yeah, can't ask for a better first quarter of the season than that.
And you're not supposed to look ahead, but guess what?
You're going to?
They have to, because when you get to if you get to 4-0, you're not just thinking playoffs now. You're thinking about, okay, this team has the capabilities of winning a Super Bowl. They could very well be the best team in the NFL at this moment.
I think they played the best. I mean, there have been a few hiccups offensively and defensively, but probably the best team we've seen, right?
And has the ability to get better.
This is taken at his 4. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Colts now, their offense works their way back onto the field. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave him great field position, turned it to 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for them. Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
Give him 3 on the play, and it'll be a 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Here we go. Set up. Play 56.
To throw again on 2nd down. Haskins over the middle and into the hands of his receiver Moore. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Looking to throw, Haskins. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now Haskins. And he can't quite intercept it. Zone coverage, free safety was there. Couldn't come up with it, and now it's 4th down. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
And he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. Murray's going to look to throw this thing. Well, there's your leading receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage, putting on another clinic, well over 100 yards.
Are we taking notes? We should be, right? Because I'm going to go back and watch this tape and really enjoy what I'm seeing. The route running, competing for the football, just breaking down a defense.
The Raiders on 3rd down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This will be 3rd and 5. From the gun on 3rd down, Murray. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And control of the football switching hands here with very little time remaining in this contest. Throwing now, Haskins on first down. Over the middle, complete. It's Moore. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they march off another 15 against your squad.
On 1st and 10, it's Haskins. Setting up the screen here, Aaron Jones. And we've got a timeout. 9 seconds remaining. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9.
I'm here all day. I'm here all day.
On 2nd down, here's Haskins. He's got a man on the crossing route. That's Moore. And now a fumble. The ball's out. So this one, a victory for the Oakland Raiders, and they were really helped by their defense, forcing 3 turnovers.
I think what we saw in this one, today's defense. And what I mean by that is in the old days, pitching shutouts was big time. That was paramount. But the big thing was holding people down, holding down their yardage, right? Don't let them throw the ball through the air and gain a lot of... But now, it's about taking the ball away. Taking away possessions, getting the ball back for their offense. They had 3 takeaways in this one, and it led them to victory.
So for the Raiders, hey, they finish a perfect month of September as they move to 4-0 on the new campaign. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Colts, they'll drop down to 1-3. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to KC to take on the Chiefs. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Are you ready? Get ready, dog. Y'all already know what time it is, huh? Playing skills, you did.
Playing skills.
Ice on the wrist, car on the wrist, all on the wrist, watch out flip, watch out whip, I'm in the whip, all on the wrist, I never switch.